want to discover the flame that hides within you? Do you want to take a journey to discover your authentic self? I am Maria Felachidou, systemic consultant and Colour Psychodynamics practitioner. Together, we will explore ways to discover your inner flame. Welcome. Make yourself comfortable. Take a deep breath and relax. This is the beginning of a new mini-series in the Inner Flame podcast. This series title is I Am Not Enough, How This Pattern is Born and How It Can Be Solved. More specifically, this episode's title is When Did I Start Believing I Am Not Enough? If you ever felt that you are not enough, that whatever you do, something inside you tells you that it's not enough, you have to do more, this series is for you because this emotion didn't start with you and it doesn't have to continue defining your life. In this cycle of episodes, we'll see how this pattern, the pattern of I am not enough, is born, how it grows within you, and how you can start liberating yourself from it. I would like to invite you to close your eyes for a moment, if you want to. Take a couple of deep breaths and answer this quietly inside you. When was the first time you felt that you are not enough? Not as an idea, not as a thought, but as a feeling, something that moved through you. Maybe you don't remember a specific moment, or maybe it was many small ones, or even maybe it feels like it has always been there. It has always been there inside you without you realizing when it was born. If there is a voice inside you that tells you you're not enough, that you need to try harder, that something is missing, I want to tell you something important. You were not born this way. You learned it. Let's take a look at how the pattern is created. No child is born believing they're not enough. A child is born with a natural sense of worth, a spontaneous presence, a quiet inner knowing of, I exist, therefore I belong. And somewhere along the way, this changes. Not suddenly, not because of one bad moment, not necessarily, but through small experiences. It can happen like that. Small, repeated experiences, almost invisible. It could be a look of disappointment or a comparison to another child, or a praise only when you achieved something, or even feeling love had to be earned. And the child does what it does best. It creates meaning. It creates meaning out of the experiences it has. And the meaning it often creates is I am not enough as I am. Not because it's true, but because it explains the experience the child had. It gives meaning to what happened. Imagine a child wanting just one thing: to belong, to be seen, to be felt, to be loved. And the child starts noticing when I'm quiet, I am more loved. When I am good, they accept me. When I succeed, they see me. And then the child doesn't just change behavior, they change themselves. They create strategies. They become the good child, the strong child, the one who doesn't cause trouble, or the one who takes care of others, or many other roles, many other strategies of survival. Not because that's who they truly are, but because it keeps them connected to the family. And thus, they feel safety. They know they will survive. And this is where the pattern begins. Love becomes connected to being someone other than who I am. And deep inside, something is written. I am not enough as I am. Let's make it clearer. When love feels conditional, like I love you when you behave better. When there is comparison, look at your brother, how nice he is. Look at your sister, she has her room clear, whatever. When the child takes on roles, emotional or practical, or when there is no mirroring, no one truly sees the child as they are, then the child doesn't think, my parents had limitations, my parents were tired, or they were upset, or they didn't know better, they did their best, or it's not about me, I shouldn't take it personally. Instead, they think something is wrong with me. And this becomes identity. Because as a teacher of mine very beautifully put it, is that for a child, the sun rises and sets every day for it. The world revolves around it. That's the way a child sees the world. The moment that he or she is born up until 7, 8 years old. Everything is about him. Everything is about her. And I know you will ask me how this pattern shows up in your life today. Well, it might look like this. You constantly try to prove your worth. You struggle to relax. Nothing ever feels enough. You fear rejection, or you adapt to be loved. Or maybe you avoid trying at all because deep inside there's a voice saying, if I try and fail, it will prove I'm not enough. So you abandon all efforts. You just let go. People coming to my office for a session don't usually say, I don't feel enough. They say, I can't make decisions, or I get stuck in relationships, or I give too much and receive too little from everyone, or I don't know who I am, or I'm afraid to show myself. But underneath all of this, there is one root. If I show who I truly am, I won't be enough. And here is the first gentle shift. What you feel has a history. You are not the problem. This is something you learned. And if something was learned, well, let me tell you, it can begin to soften. You can unlearn it, not through pressure, not through criticism, but through awareness, through consciousness. Let me ask you to take a moment, place your hand softly on your chest, and just ask yourself, when did I first feel this? When did I first feel I was not enough? Don't force an answer. Let an image, a feeling, a sensation to come. And if a child appears in front of you, don't change them. Don't fix them. Just say, I see you. I see you now. And take a couple of deep breaths and open your eyes. Now let's take a look at the systemic perspective. From it, this pattern is not only personal, or it may not be only personal. It can be an invisible loyalty to your system, to your family system. You may say, your soul, your inside may say, I won't be freer than my parents, or I will carry what they couldn't, or even I will stay small to belong. And then, not enough is not weakness. It's a way to stay connected. It's a way to be part of the family, because for our soul, it's more important to belong to our family, to abide by its laws and its norms and its wants and needs, rather than be true to ourselves. It's more important to be true to our family, because our family is the one that will help us survive. It's the one that will keep us safe. That's how we think. That's how our soul reacts. Even if that is not the case in actuality, even if that's not the case, we tend to sacrifice our personal conscience for the sake of our family conscience. But let's take a look at the Colour Psychodynamics perspective. And here, something beautiful emerges. Colour Psychodynamics doesn't ask, what is missing? It asks, who were you before you started adapting? Your color profile is a map. It's a remembering, not of who you need to become, but who you already are. And when you begin to see yourself through this lens, something shifts. You stop trying to become enough. You start remembering that you always were enough, that you are enough. Well, my goal in this episode was not to fix you. You won't be fixed. But maybe for the first time, you won't fully believe that voice. Maybe a small space will open between you and the belief that you're not enough. And in that space, something new is born: choice. You don't need to change anything today. You don't need to prove anything. Just hold this thought. Maybe what I feel is not my truth. It's a story I learned. And now I am beginning to see it. I am beginning to realize that my thought, the belief I have that I'm not enough, and who I really am are two separate things, are two different worlds. Even if they are apart just by a centimeter, my goal for this episode was achieved. In the next episode, we will go deeper. I know we can. We will look into the voice inside you that doesn't stop talking. The voice inside me that says, "You're not enough," is the title of the episode. And where does this voice come from? Why does it feel so real? And how can we begin to separate from it? Are a few things that we're gonna analyze on our next episode. If this episode touched you, stay with me on this journey. We're not here to become someone else, just to remember who you are. If you feel that this pattern is holding you back, you can work with me and change this. Thank you very much for staying with me through this episode. And until the next episode of Inner Flame Podcast, stay close to yourself. And remember that this is the time to discover your inner flame. Bye-bye. You've been listening to the Inner Flame podcast with systemic consultant and Colour Psychodynamics practitioner Maria Felachidou. Search for this podcast on Spotify and follow Inner Flame on Instagram and Facebook.